Hello, everyone. Welcome to English class, English with Mike, level number 3, lesson number 13. And as you can see the pictures now, the topic of today is related to food. All right. So this is the lesson number 13. Today we're going to see the usage of too, enough, and not enough. Okay. What is the objective of this lesson? Al término de esta lección, vas a ser capaz de poder utilizar adjetivos para describir la textura, el sabor y la temperatura de algunos alimentos, referir su calidad, así como los restaurantes y lugares de comida de tu preferencia. Así que vamos a comenzar la lección número 13, empezando con la parte de vocabulary. First, please repeat after me. And in the second round, we're going to see the meaning of the words. Crunchy, crunchy, creamy, creamy, greasy, greasy, juicy, juicy, delicious, delicious, sweet and sour, sweet and sour, 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 bitter, bitter, sweet, sweet, disgusting, disgusting, spicy, spicy, hot, hot, bland, bland. The meaning of the words: crunchy, crujiente, creamy, cremoso, greasy, grasoso, juicy, jugoso, delicious, delicioso, sweet and sour, agridulce, sour, agrio, bitter, amargo, sweet, dulce, disgusting, desagradable, asqueroso, spicy, condimentado, hot, picante, bland, insípido. Esas son algunas palabras que vamos a utilizar durante la lección número 13. Están relacionadas con el tema de comida. Okay, to get started now, let's go back to the following image. Pay attention to the following image. Pay close attention to this picture. What do you see in the picture? Question number 1. Think about, where are these people? Where are these people? Number 2. What are they doing? What are they doing? Question number 3. What are they talking about? Is the person standing talking about something specific? Try to think. What kind of question is the person standing asking the other man? What is she asking? Okay, these kind of questions help us to predict what's coming in the explanation of today. So take some time to think about it and stimulate your schemata. Number 1, pay attention to this question. How do you like your food, sir? How did you like your food, sir? The response, let's see the response. The food was too salty and it's too expensive here. Oops. But the service was quick enough. Question. Is all the experience negative? Or there is something positive in the responses of this man? For sure, not everything is negative. There is something positive about this experience. Now, what are the adjectives the man used in this conversation? For example, salty, expensive, and quick. Now, can you notice what particular word matches or goes with these adjectives? Can you notice? Too and enough. You notice? Too and enough. What's the meaning of too and what's the meaning of enough? We're going to see today how to use correctly too and enough to express our opinions about restaurants, food, services, the quality of the food, etc. Okay, so let's get started with the first one, too. We use too plus any adjective, for example, salty, too salty, to express or to say that there is more than necessary of that particular item. For example, this course is too short. You won't learn to cook. Too short. Usually, too has a negative connotation. All right? Too bad. Oh, that's too good to be true. Too quick. This course is too quick. Too quick. Remember, too is a synonym of also, but too has a negative connotation. Also, la palabra also también significa también, pero en ese caso, too, vamos a emplearlo, utilizarlo en un sentido negativo, en una connotación negativa. Too salty, too bad. It should be longer. Now, what about enough? In the conversation that we just started with, there is this expression, enough, enough. Notice the pronunciation, enough. But notice now the order. Please notice where is the adjective versus enough. Here is too expensive, too salty. So the adjective is right after too. But in the case of enough, the adjective is before enough. You know what is the position? And what is the meaning of enough? Okay, let's see. Enough means sufficient. We use adjective plus enough to say that something is sufficient. For example, I think this dessert is sweet enough. Sweet enough, no problem. But you can also say that it's not sufficient. How do you do that? By adding the word not enough. Example, we use not plus adjective plus enough to say less than necessary. My food isn't hot enough. Mi comida no está lo suficientemente caliente. All right? It should be cold. It's too cold. It's too cold. Está demasiado fría. All right? So, not enough, no suficiente, enough, suficiente. Okay? So let's see more examples of this. Pay attention to the following sentence and try to think about what's the correct meaning. What does this sentence mean versus the three options that we have below. This cake is big enough for 8 people. This cake is big enough for 8 people. Think about the possible answers. Number 1, you need a bigger cake if you want to invite 8 people. The cake is too big for 8 people. Or everyone can have a piece of cake if you invite 8 people. Pause the recording to read the sentences again or the options again and play once you are ready with your answer. Okay, if you have your answer and you chose letter C as the correct answer, that's correct. Now, let's do the following exercise. Match the meanings, match the sentences with the correct meaning. For example, in the number 1, the food was very spicy versus the number 2, the food was too spicy. Son dos oraciones que son muy parecidas, pero una utiliza very y la segunda utiliza too. Remember what I just said. Too usually has a negative context, All right, so be careful with what you choose. Number 1, the food was very spicy. What's the correct meaning? Pause the recording if necessary before you listen the correct answer. Okay, number 1, the food was very spicy. I love it. The food was very spicy. Muy condimentada. Pero no es tanto. Number 2 says the food was too spicy. Remember, to has a negative context. So the correct option for number 2 is letter A. I didn't eat it. I didn't eat it because it was too spicy, demasiado condimentada. Okay, pay attention to the next couple of sentences. This restaurant is very expensive. This restaurant is very expensive. This restaurant is too expensive. What's the correct meaning, or what's the best meaning for the number 3? What's your choice? We only go there for special occasions, or we don't have enough money to eat there. We don't have enough money. No tenemos suficiente dinero para ir ahí. This restaurant is very expensive. The correct answer is letter C. We only go there for special occasions. And the number 4, this restaurant is too expensive means we don't have enough money to eat there. It's too expensive. Never, never in your dreams eat there because it's unaffordable. We cannot afford to eat there. Okay, so that's the correct options for each of the sentences. Now, according to these examples and this analysis, we conclude that to means more than necessary. To is more than necessary, or to always transmit, or usually most of the times transmits a negative connotation. All right, complete the following dialogue using enough or to. In this case, we're going to use enough. Okay, this cake is for 8 people. I think it's big enough. But 20 people are coming to the party. 20 people are coming to the party. So the cake, what's your answer? Think about your answer. If your answer is isn't, that's the correct answer. The cake isn't big enough for 10 people. We need to buy a bigger one. We have 20 people coming to the party. So the cake is for 8. It isn't big enough. Okay, so having said that, we know that to is followed by an adjective. So this coffee is, remember, use strong. That's the adjective we're going to use, strong, and the combination of to or enough. For example, this coffee is too strong. Can I have some milk? Now we have this sentence. I can carry that big box. I can carry that big box. Puedo cargar esa caja pesada o esa gran caja. Am, combinemos strong con to or enough. Si tu respuesta es strong enough, that's correct. Very good. You did a good job. The following. I can open this jar of jam. I can open this jar of jam. No puedo abrir este tarro de mermelada o jalea. If your answer is not strong enough, your answer is correct. Congratulations. So this little chart summarizes the usage of to and enough. Remember, to plus an adjective, either cold, hot, big, spacious, whatever. And remember, when we use enough, first is coming the adjective and then enough, or adjective, not enough. Isn't big enough. Okay? As you see the examples. Vamos a utilizar primero el adjetivo y después enough o la forma del be negativo, según sea el caso singular o plural, plus the adjective plus enough. Pero hay que tener mucho cuidado. Watch out, watch out. Aquí vamos a poner esta como super alerta para que también no cree confusión y recuerdes que enough, el significado de la palabra enough es suficiente. Entonces suficiente también puedo combinarlo con cualquiera que sea el sustantivo que yo desee utilizar. Por ejemplo, oranges, apples, bananas, students, chair, water, money. Este sustantivo puede ser contable o incontable. Pero ojo, aquí estoy diciendo que hay cantidades suficientes de cosas. No estoy calificando las cosas. Así que no te sorprendas si de repente tú encuentras en alguna conversación, en alguna lectura, enough más algún sustantivo, porque enough significa suficiente. ¿Ok? Así que esa fue una aclaración para recordar el uso también enough con sustantivos. Pero en el contexto que estamos utilizando para la comida, para describir comida, recuerda que es el objetivo de la lección, describir textura, sabor, composición, agrado de la comida, utilizamos to para referirnos de una manera negativa, utilizamos adjetivo más enough o negación, adjetivo más enough para referir a que algo no es lo suficientemente de acuerdo a la expectativa o al estándar deseado. Así que vamos a encontrar ahora 3 errores. Find 3 mistakes in the following sentences. Number 1, we don't grow oranges in my country. The climate is not enough warm. ¿Cuál es el error en esta oración? Puedes pausar la grabación, pause the recording before you listen the answer, para que te des un tiempo de meditar en la respuesta correcta. The correct answer for number 1 is there en el enough and warm. Recuerda, el orden no es el correcto. Primero ponemos el adjetivo y posteriormente enough al final. Number 2, what's the correct answer? Where is the mistake in the number 2? This chicken salad is sweet enough for my mom. She prefers spicy dishes. Where is the mistake in the number 2? Pause the recording now. And you can see the answer now is sweet enough. Pero no tanto es el orden, sino la palabra que no es la correcta. Ahorita vamos a ver la respuesta correcta por la número 2. Number 3, this box of cereal is too small. Get a bigger one. Esta caja de cereal es demasiado pequeña. Consíguete una más grande. Where is the mistake there? Pause the recording. Now, the correct answer is there, in two. En el to, porque está mal deletreado, le hace falta una doble O. Aquí la respuesta correcta de la una es warm enough, too sweet, es demasiado dulce, y la última es too small. There's a mistake, ¿ok? So, as a reminder, y en conclusión nuevamente para que recordemos, to, recuerda utilizar to, más un adjetivo, cualesquiera que este sea, puede ser un adjetivo positivo o negativo, no importa. El to va a hacer que esta expresión sea de carácter negativo, porque inclusive podemos decir too good, y es demasiado bueno, es como un sarcasmo, porque quiere decir que es demasiado irreal o fantasioso, ¿no? Así que el segundo, enough, recuerda utilizar adjetivo, después seguido le voy a escribir de enough. Y la última palabra, la última expresión o el último uso de enough es adjetivo previo de una negación del verbo be, isn't o aren't, según sea el caso, hot enough. En este caso es un ejemplo, este café no es lo suficientemente caliente. Así que terminamos con un wrap up, nuestra lección número 13. If an exercise is too difficult, you can't do it because it's very difficult, true or false? And your answer, please. Now, it's true. It's true. You can do it because it's too difficult. Remember, too has a negative connotation. Which form is correct? Not big enough or not enough big? And your answer is the number 1. It's not big enough. Not big enough. All right. Well, this has been the end. Este es el final de nuestra lección, el repaso, y termino con una reflexión para todos ustedes que tiene que ver con comida. Life is like a box of chocolate. You never know what you're gonna get. It's a reflection by Forrest Gump. La vida es como una caja de chocolate. Tú nunca sabes lo que vas a conseguir. Así que espero que te haya gustado la lección y te recuerdo que si te gustó la lección, me regales un like, please. Y suscríbete a mi canal para que reciba la notificación cada vez que yo suba una nueva lección. Que tengas un excelente día and bye for now. Have a good one. This was English with Mike.